So the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service has relaunched its Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program. Here to tell us more about the relaunch is Gashelle Jilks-Edwards, National Service Coordinator, and Jody Ramcharitar, Program Facilitator for GAP. Ladies, thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you for having us, Marlon.
Of course. All right, let's begin this way, Gashelle. Let's speak a little bit about the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, because, you know, we continuously hear about your ministry, but I think that sometimes some people are familiar and some people are not.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's talk about the work, the service that your ministry provides.
So the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago established the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service in 2020, August of 2020. And this ministry is specifically designed to advance the developmental goals of the youth of Trinidad and Tobago, to provide a supportive entrepreneurial environment for our young people, and also to promote national service. So when I say young people, I'm referring to persons between the ages of 10 to 35. Initially, persons were considered youth between the ages of 15 to 29, but our National Youth Policy 2020 to 2025 has expanded that age range on both ends of the spectrum. So these 550,000 citizens of Trinidad and Tobago between this age range now have a specific ministry designed and with a clear mandate to focus on their needs. So under the umbrella of National Service, which is the unit that is providing these structured opportunities for young persons to give back to society and to increase their civic mindedness, we have a suite of programs. And one such program is the replacement of the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program under the Ministry of Youth. Previously, it was under the Ministry of Social Development. But to ensure that we have a clear injection of young people in this program to really provide national service, it has been carefully placed, strategically placed under our ministry, and we have taken the opportunity yesterday to rebrand and to relaunch this program and to orient 80 new caregivers into the program.
Yeah. Jody, let's speak a little bit about the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program. One, how do people get involved, and what does the program entail? Let's speak about the components of the program too.
Sure. So the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership Program meets the needs of both the youth and the elderly of Trinidad and Tobago. So the youth of Trinidad would experience the giving back. So the youth would be the persons that given back to the elderly. So they are trained persons who go to the homes of the elderly persons. So this youth category would be between the ages of 18 to 35, and the elderly persons must be 60 and over. So the young persons go to the homes of the elderly to help with care and companionship. So to provide needs in terms of personal hygiene. So they would assist the elderly persons in ensuring that their personal hygiene is intact, assistance with food, nutrition and home management, assistance with life support skills, assistance with attending clinic appointments, assistance with that general companionship and care of the elderly. So it's twofold. So the youth benefits from this program, and as well the elderly persons benefit from this program.
Yeah. You said 80 participants in the program this time around, right?
Yes. So our Geriatric Adolescent Program has approval for 800 caregivers in total. And this program actually was launched in 2013. So this is the 31st year of this program being operational within our country. So this relaunch has injected 80 young persons yesterday. So that will bring us closer to 600. So later on this year, we would be bringing on an additional 200 persons to meet our full complement of 800 caregivers within the program.
But where does the training take place?
So initially, persons were trained within the program, but the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service has taken a very strategic position on training, and we have been partnering with the Ministry of Education and their accredited institutions to assist with the training of our participants across the board throughout the ministry. So in this particular instance, the COSAT will be delivering the training to our young persons. The 80 persons that were integrated into the program yesterday, those persons had existing certification. They were trained in CCC, which is one of our programs at the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, and they were also trained and some of the persons were also trained at COSAT as nurses. So these young persons have their certification and it already existed, so we opened up an opportunity for them to apply and 80 persons were successful.
Jody, how long is the training for?
The training would have been for 6 months intervals, level 1 and level 2. In the past, when the training was done under the Geriatric Adolescent Partnership program, but in the future, conversation is taking place with COSAT, so we will have more information on that once it is concluded.
Is this program for males and females?
Certainly, and yesterday I was so happy to see young men as well being inducted as young caregivers. So we have young male caregivers and we also have not so young male patients in the program.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can persons with elderly family, how can they access this service from the ministry?
Okay, so we have the application forms that is available on the Mydns website. It is also available at all regional offices throughout Trinidad. So we have offices in Sangre Grande, Rio Claro to service the persons in the east. We have office in Tunapuna to service the persons within that northeast area. We have an office in Port of Spain to service the persons in the north, a Chaguanas office to service the persons within the central region, and we have offices in San Fernando and Siparia to service the persons within the south. So persons can visit the offices for more information. They can visit the offices to collect application forms and even to assist with applying for the caregivers for the elderly persons, or visit the website and download the form, and they could also email the form to our email address, and the forms will be received and they will be contacted.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about assessment. So I have an elderly relative. I want to get a caregiver. Take us through the assessment process of this.
So are you referring to the assessment of the patient or of the caregiver?
Well, to assess the entire situation so that at the end of the day, a caregiver could be dispatched to the home.
So Jody, I would refer that question to.
Sure. So once the application comes in, we review your documents because there are supporting documents that needs to be submitted as well, inclusive of a medical from your doctor stating your ailments, so we know what ailments the elderly person would have, so we know how to approach the situation. After that, we will contact you to schedule a home visit where we go to the home of the elderly persons. So the regional facilitators are responsible for that. So they reach out to you, they go to the home, they meet the elderly person, they assess their needs, they take their information to see in what way the caregiver can be of assistance and what needs the caregiver would have to assist the elderly person with, because each elderly would have specific needs and each person would be different. So once we assess those needs, we then come back, we set up an orientation with the elderly or their relative and the caregiver, and we have what we call an orientation, and we discuss everything in terms of the care plan, in terms of how the caregiver is going to assist with the elderly person on their day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
Once that's completed, the caregiver will be assigned for a 6-month period.
For 6 months.
Yes.
Day-to-day activities. So when do these activities begin on a day-to-day basis? Read the caregiver and the elderly. Is it 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning?
Right.
What time do they leave?
Right. So it's Monday to Friday, no weekends and no public holidays, and the caregivers are assigned from 8 to 4 p.m. or 7 to 3 p.m.
Yeah. But there has to be a constant monitoring of the situation, right?
Yes, so we have a robust monitoring and evaluation unit that will visit the homes of these patients and have conversations both with the patients and the caregivers, and we also do independent checks from the ministry end to ensure that it is being delivered.
So let's ask the big question. Is this service free?
So the service is at no cost. I'm very cautious with saying free.
Yes.
So it is at no cost to the patient, the recipient of the care. However, these young persons that are giving this care to the patients, the caregivers, they are afforded a stipend. So it is not free to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because we are paying these young persons a stipend to give their national service and to assist these elderly persons who we value so much. And this stipend is $3,200 per month based on their commitment to attend and deliver the care at the hours that we just described.
I want to speak a little bit about the assessment of the caregiver, and not necessarily about their ability to do the job, but their character.
Yes.
What sort of vetting goes into this so that people can be assured that anyone who has come into their home, there was a rigid vetting process? And well, you know why I'm asking that, because you don't want any kind of strange person to come in your home and to know your business, and then your business end up on the street somewhere, right? So let's talk about this vetting process.
So I am happy that you're asking this question, because, persons always ask us at the ministry, how do we determine who are the successful applicants for all of our various programs, and now you're asking it for GAP. The ministry has a quite comprehensive application form that these young persons will fill out, and they have to attach their supporting documents, which include a certificate of good character. We do have an opportunity to engage with these caregivers and to have that conversation with them to ensure that they meet our code of ethics, and we assure them that we are here to support them if they find themselves into any challenging opportunities that they are unable to, adhere to these code of ethics. But we are very supportive, and we hold their hands throughout the process. So we ensure that these young persons, display the characteristics that, would be pleasing to both themselves and to the home of the elderly that they would be entering. But I smile because, we have other institutions such as organizations, the police services. They go through very rigorous vetting processes, and, they have their challenges, but we work alongside these young persons to support them throughout the process so that there's no or minimal impact in terms of negative occurrences, as you are describing.
Have there been negative occurrences?
Has there been rain and sun? But very little, I will say, Marlon, very little. And if any at all, we have been able to manage it. I mean, it's people. It is people. And it is intergenerational communication and interactions that is taking place. It is younger persons and elderly persons.
Of course.
I'm sure sometimes even when I interact with my grandparents, they may probably, prefer I do things in a different way. But we are here to support them. And the major underlying objective is met. We are there to deliver the care. We have these elderly persons always asking for extensions. They feel as if these younger persons are part of their family. So there are many, many positive experiences that come out of the program. So in general, I would say that it's always a pleasant experience.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that question, it is because in some cases it is not an easy task to attend to someone, whether the person is elderly or an infirmed person, right? But in this case, we're speaking about the elderly. It is not an easy task. Sometimes people can't walk, they can't speak, they can't do a number of things. And this caregiver is going to have to do a number of things to assist this individual. The person may be stubborn. And to me, the caregiver not only should be someone who has gone through your training, but it has to be someone who is empathetic to what the individual is going through, someone who can handle pressure well, because you don't want someone who is going to get vexed and treat the elderly in a particular way. So I put all of that on the table, and I'm sure that has to be a part of the training too.
But what I want to say, Marlon, specifically is that this is not a job to these young persons, and that is why it is falling under the umbrella of national service. These young persons are seeing it as an opportunity to not only give care, but also to serve country. So I'm happy that you're underlying all of these important characteristics that these young persons must exhibit, and we are definitely ensuring that they do possess these qualities and attributes that you want them to possess, but also to give back to country. So it's not only about caring for the elderly, which is very important, but also caring for country.
Yeah, Gashel, it sounds like it's a calling,
Yes.
You have to be called to it, right, Judy?
Passionate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that has been, you feel that as you look at the program, that has been a real characteristic of it, that the caregivers are caring people and are helpful people, always willing to assist the elderly?
Yes, and as Ms. Edwards would have explained, we are here to support them. So even if they may feel overwhelmed at times, we're always a phone call away to lend that assistance, that comfort, that listening ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ladies, after this 6 months, what now?
So they are placed with a specific patient for 6 months. Once you successfully complete that process, that cycle, you are then going to be placed with another patient. But each patient gets 6 months of care. Now, if you require additional care for an additional 6 months, a request can come in. It goes before a committee for review, and once it is approved, you'll get an additional 6 months. But we have a long waiting list of elderly persons requiring care. So we have to ensure that, we spread the love and spread the support and give opportunities to other persons.
Let's talk about that waiting list. How long is it?
How long is it in terms of number, or
Yeah.
how long is it in terms of time? So
Number and time, that's
number
good.
and time, okay. So when we have persons requesting additional care, it will become longer. Each person thinks that they require more time with their caregiver.
Of course.
But in that request, you are also delaying another person from receiving care. So I would like to say that it is well over the number of caregivers that we currently have. I do not have a numerical figure for you, but it is way over. But we have intentions on bringing on 200 additional caregivers in October, because we have approval for 800 in total. So therefore, it is going to be 200 less as of October.
Wow.
Yes.
This is, ladies, this seems to be a revolving door situation. It's that the situation concerning assistance for the elderly, it is growing. So I suspect that the ministry is going to have to be churning out more and more caregivers.
Well, we have a growing aging population, but what we are trying to do is to engender a culture of national service, as I said. So if we continue to do this and show the young people the importance of giving care, probably their family members as well will be more inclined to do such. So once we continue to support persons with the training, the proper training, and not only for care for the geriatrics, but we're also getting a lot of requests for care for the differently abled. So yesterday we had representatives at our launch. So for the consideration of the expansion of the scope of this program, which we will definitely have to rename if that should be approved. But if we continue to show our people the importance of national service, we probably will be getting volunteers, and we will train volunteers who will be willing to do such without having to actually be integrated in the program.
Yeah. Jody, before you leave this morning, I want you to tell the elderly again and relatives of the elderly how they can contact the ministry to get one of your caregivers.
Sure. So our contact numbers for GAP would be 623-2608, extension 1280. You can also contact us at 1292 or 1286. That will be our head office contact numbers. Once you reach out to us, we transfer you to whichever respective region would be dealing with your case. The forms are available online on the Mydns website, and you can also collect forms at our regional offices stated earlier.
Yeah. Gashel, anything you'd like to tell us before you leave us this morning?
Yes, definitely. All of our young people that have a desire to give a care to the geriatrics, to our elderly population, I definitely would like them to look forward to that opportunity that will be presented for 200 young persons in October. We probably will put that out probably like July, August, to come on board and to really assist us in serving our country and serving the needs of the people of our country. And I would like to thank those 80 young persons that came on board yesterday, and the existing 520 caregivers that we currently have in the system. They are doing excellent service to our people, and I want to really thank them for that publicly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you very much for coming this morning. Thank you very much for the information. I'm sure it is going to help a number of people out there, and thank you for the good work that your ministry continues to do.